Hi folks, welcome to Time to Talk with Sandy Gannon. It's a real bittersweet podcast today. My dear friend Sandy, who was the president of the International Kinesiology College, amongst so many other things, you know, a mum, a wife, an amazing friend, a mentor, you name it. She was so many wonderful things to so many wonderful people. And we very sadly said goodbye to Sandy on the 2nd of April this year, 2020. And everybody's been shocked and devastated in the loss. But this podcast is really celebrating Sandy's life and the gift that she left the world, and the amazing energy that she brought to Touch for Health and kinesiology, and the love and the light that she gave to everybody who had ever been lucky enough to cross her path. So here are a couple of interviews that I did with Sandy in 2019. The first one is talking about Touch for Health and kinesiology and her passion for it. And then the second one is all about learning Touch for Health. And just enjoy hearing our beautiful Sandy again and seeing her laugh and get emotional over something that she held so dear to her heart. So get yourself a cup of tea and just settle down and watch and listen to the amazing Sandy Gannon. Hi everybody, so I'm here with the amazing Sandy Gannon, and just an insight, I messaged Sandy yesterday and said, can I have your titles? Because I've known Sandy for years and years and years, and I've run out of, just can't remember all the different titles Sandy's got. So I said, Sandy, what's your title? And she gave me this big long list, but she ended it with, the important thing is I'm a Touch for Health at. And for me, that kind of sums Sandy up completely. She does all of these amazing things, but at the end of the day, she still classes herself as a Touch for Health, doing the best she can do for everybody. And that's why we love her so much. So I thought we'd do a little interview with Sandy so you can get a bit of an insight into Touch for Health, really, and how it works when you're working with people. So I have got a list of questions because I know what me and Sandy are like, and we'll go straight off topic.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. So yeah, I'm going to go through my questions if that's okay. So before we start, is there anything you would like just to chuck in there, Sandy?
No, I think it's brilliant. I wish I was clever like you, Brian. Yeah, I wish I could make videos and put them on Facebook and do all that stuff. But I'm very grateful that you're doing it for us.
Oh, I haven't done it yet. I don't know what it's going to be like.
You'll be grand, I have faith.
So something that I've never asked you actually in all the years that we've known each other is why first of all, why kinesiology, and what came first? Was it Touch for Health or was it kinesiology? How did you get into it and why?
Yeah, it was one of those karmic things, honest to God. I was doing healing, I was doing dowsing, I was doing other energetic things. Mm-hmm. And I went to my healer and I was in the waiting room and there was a little heap. It was actually a heap, you know, higgledy-piggledy heap of leaflets and brochures and things on the table while I was waiting to see it. And one of them had the 5 elements on it, and it was just sticking out underneath some others, and it had just a black and white image of the 5 elements. And for some reason I thought, oh my God, don't, you know, that tingle down the spine thing. So I just pulled out the leaflet and had a look at it, and it was a Touch for Health one course being advertised by Madeline Lewis. Madeline, if you get to see this, love you forever. And I thought, I've got to do that. And I didn't know why, but it was just, there was no question. You know how sometimes things are just, you just know them. They're not, you don't imagine or think, or it's like it's downloaded. There you go. There's the answer, you know. And that's how it was for me with Touch for Health.
And so did you have a Touch for Health balance with Madeline, or did you?
Never had one. I went straight to the class. I'd never heard of Touch for Health. I'd never heard of kinesiology, and went and did the class.
Went straight to Touch for Health. Wow, that's amazing. And why do you like it so much? I mean, you've got vast experience in all different healing modalities, different types of kinesiology. I mean, I'm really passionate about Touch for Health, but what is it for you? Why Touch for Health? Why not, 3-in-1 concepts? Why not pick up? Why Touch for Health?
I mean, they're all good, aren't they? They're all
amazing.
They're all, but Touch for Health empowers everybody in the process immediately. Do you know? It, like, if you're receiving a balance, you're immediately empowered. Yeah, that feels good. No, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel the same as the other side. Do that again. Oh, that's too hard. Rub a bit high. You're immediately empowered getting the balance, then giving the balance. It's empowering, You're actually making a difference, helping someone and empowering someone else. And then when you're an instructor, well, you're empowering a room full of people who are going to go out and empower a world full of people. I mean, I think it's this self-responsibility model that everybody is so important and empowered in every part of the process. And a lot of therapies are not like that, The other thing is our goal setting. And again, there are a lot of therapies that concentrate on the problem or the issue or and Touch for Health says, yeah, well, you've got all these symptoms and problems and issues, but what do you really want? What's your potential? Never mind those. Let's concentrate on the good bits and how to get you there. And it's a different approach. And of course, if there's only so much energy and it's all going on the problem, there's not so much for the solution. So I think Touch for Health is the empowering self-responsibility side of things. And there's a kind of hopeful positivity with every balance, with every Touch for Healther. Even people coming in with their level 1, they really are, their candles are lit. Their candles are lit. Thank you, John.
Yes, they certainly are. Thank you, John. Why did you decide to go on and become an instructor trainer? Not an instructor, because I want to talk to you separately about teaching Touch for Health, because it's amazing to teach. But why? I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a massive amount of work, and it means you've got less energy to do Touch for Health. But what drove you to go on and be an instructor trainer? What was it?
Well, I'll tell you what happened was I didn't really make a decision, but the UK had no instructor trainers, we were called in those days. They'd call us IKC faculty now, just taking care of things, taking care of business, being a sort of fulcrum for Touch for Healthers and Touch for Health instructors, and liaising between the Touch for Healthers on the ground in the area and IKC. First of all, I didn't know. I did not have a single clue what I was getting into. Secondly, 20 years ago, when I got into it, it wasn't as big a job as it is today. And thirdly, Natalie Davenport, who was my mentor and who was IKC faculty before me, instructor trainer before me, was wanting to retire and do different things. So the UK didn't have someone, and I thought they should have someone.
Because that's when I met you on Met. It was the ITW then, and
I know. I remember. God,
beside Natalie,
wasn't it?
I think it was Natalie's last ITW.
Yeah, she was. We were co-teaching, weren't we? I was learning how to do it.
Yeah.
That's right. God, that was a long time ago, Les.
I know.
Oy.
I know, and I'm finding out so much about you. Interviewing. I should have done this 20 years ago.
Oh, I hope some of it's interesting.
It is. So, I mean, you just said about the faculty and the role of faculty's changed. Has Touch for Health itself changed over the last 20 years?
You know, Touch for Health, the essence of Touch for Health hasn't changed. You know, it's the empowering, lighting other people's candles, helping them discover things about themselves and their own power. That hasn't changed. That hasn't changed at all. The sharing it, the generosity of John with just sharing it, getting it out there, helping everybody, that hasn't changed either. But what's changed is probably the kind of admin side of things. So things have become clearer and more structured in terms of the syllabus, in terms of what is and isn't Touch for Health, in terms of, you know, we didn't have to worry about the ASA, the Advertising Standards Authority, or go. We didn't have to worry about GDPR. We didn't have to worry about, you know, so there are more, not regulations, but there are more guidelines for people to follow. And you know, you can look on that as a support, really, because we have to do it right, and we have to keep Touch for Health honoured and respected as, you know, one of the kinesiology big boys, which is what it is. So we do need structure, and we do need training progressions, and we do need training for our teachers and trainers and assessors. And so, yeah, that side of things has changed.
But the essence of it is still the same. Because I had a break from it for a while, and then, you know, teaching came back, and it's the same syllabus that it was 20 years ago, which is amazing. Really, really great.
Yeah, it really is a synthesis, you know. And now that we teach the proficiency with the menu balancing, it's a system. You know, there's a way to work your way through and know what to do next, and it's lovely, and I just love it. It's lovely.
And my last question for you in this little chat is, where do you think Touch for Health is heading in the UK and also worldwide?
In the UK, it's Touch for Health is in a good place. You know, we've got a trainer who's coming up, so that when I'm sunning myself on a beach somewhere, Helena Arguelles will be in the driving seat, taking care of stuff with the team around her, because we have amazing teams in the UK. We have assessment teams and proficiency instructor teams and instructor teams and networks and Facebook. You know, we really do have teams and teams of people supporting each other and supporting Touch for Health forward. Our standards are, I think, excellent but our standards are excellent in the UK. Our kind of quality of the graduate of UK Touch for Health proficiency, which is a little bit different from most of the world, is a really well-equipped, competent Touch for Healther that will give you an awesome balance, you know. So I'm really happy about that. I think that the UK is in a good place in terms of standards, in terms of structure. And where's it going? Only onwards and upwards, you know, only more support, more sharing, bringing in the hangouts, Jackie Lysett's instructor hangouts, student hangouts, proficiency hangouts, sharing for people getting more information, more contacts, it's really it's heading the right way, and the right way is more sharing. So it's definitely going that way. And in the rest of the world, I think some of them some of them because they have no choice, and some of them because they've seen that it's a good system, are actually following the UK, and they're implementing things that we're doing here already. So, you know, our proficiency assessment, for example, people are looking at that, the way we structure the courses, the way we structure the instructor trainings and development. It's a good model, and I think people will emulate. That's what I believe.
Hey, so it's really bright for Touch for Health, isn't it? It's shining.
It is. It's looking good, and you know the Kinesiology Federation is a great support for Touch for Health. We've got Touch for Health membership categories, and our students can become members for 20 quid a year or something, you know. There's a lot of respect and support for Touch for Health in the UK, and quite right too.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I've come to the end of my questions.
Is that it?
Well, for this one it is. I want to talk to you about learning Touch for Health rather than using it in a sec. So can we just end on what your favourite thing is to do in Touch for Health? What is your favourite thing about Touch for Health?
I think it's the hug. I think it's the hug. And the hug, Matthew Thee, if you see this, you promised me in 2005 that the hug would be reinstated. John Thee, my friend, when he gave a balance, he used to do it, you know, and check the goal, and he'd say, "How do you feel now?" And people would say, "Oh, I feel better," or "I feel hopeful," or "I feel, you know, something positive." And he would, great big bear of a man that he was, he would go, "You're my friend," and give him a huge hug. And I swear to God, that hug did as much balancing as anything else. My favourite bit is the hug from John.
Oh,
I knew you'd get me.
Sorry. That is just so amazing, and I think we should end it with this little virtual hug.
Yeah, there you go, mate.
My heart to you, Sandy.
Hey.
I shall talk to you again on another little interview.
All right, darling. Thanks.
Okay. Have an amazing day.
You too, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Hi, folks. I'm here with the amazing Sandy Gannon. And, well, I think you're amazing.
I think you're amazing.
Eyes and go for, but I think Sandy is pretty amazing, and I've known Sandy for many years. She was co-teaching with Natalie Davenport. I was on the last instructor, it used to be called the instructor training workshop back then, and that's when I met Sandy, was on the ITW when she was co-teaching with Natalie Davenport. And I feel honoured to still be in the circle and chatting with Sandy, but there's so many things I haven't asked her over the years, so I'm taking the opportunity now to dig in and find out some things, and hopefully we'll all be enlightened at the end of the wee chat. So I contacted Sandy yesterday because I didn't know what a title was now, and she gave me this whole long list, big long list of all of the things she is, you know, with the IKC and in the UK as well as internationally, and she ended it with, you know, the most important thing is she's a Touch for Health, and that to me sums up Sandy. Doesn't matter what she does, how important her role is within kinesiology and within Touch for Health. She is first and foremost a Touch for Health and doing, you know, celebrating a 14 fixes you go, which is just awesome. So what I would like to do is to, if it's okay with you, Sandy, is to talk to you about learning Touch for Health.
Oh yeah.
So
do it. Everyone should do it.
Everyone should do it. So I'm going to talk to you first as a Touch for Health instructor, and then as the instructor trainer, if that's okay, or running the training workshop. So very quickly, what is Touch for Health, and then why should people learn it?
Okay, what is Touch for Health? It's a system of balancing people's energy. It uses manual muscle biofeedback to detect where there are imbalances in their system, and it uses that same muscle biofeedback to see how to alleviate the stresses that cause the imbalances.
Well, I hope everyone got that, because that'll be on everyone's websites now. Touch for Health is boom, as said by Sandy Gannon.
Yeah, you quote me. I can't remember what I said 2 minutes later.
Yes, we'll be rewinding that as we type it in. So, why should people learn Touch for Health? Why should they learn it?
First of all, because they will be able to do it. And, they will succeed. They will be able to do good with it.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, because they will be empowered with it. They'll be empowered to help themselves. And the self-help side of things with Touch for Health is coming home to me stronger and stronger. We've got an instructor, Sam Ashby, who's hello Sam, if you see this. She's in Devon. Mm-hmm. And she's doing little half-hour Zoom workshops that are the self-help minis. So the self-help, even if you don't know Touch for Health, you can still use the self-help without any muscle testing. So at least learn that, so that you can have more power over your life. And what did John say? Leading those we cherish to a more abundant life. That's what he said. So we can give ourselves a more abundant life. We can give those we cherish, bless his heart, those we cherish, a more abundant life. And you make connections with Touch for Health. Look at us, Les. I remember all the people I've learnt Touch for Health with. You make connections and you get a support from people, these people that you only come together with for your 2 days of workshop maybe, and then a practice day. You have such a deep connection and understanding with them. It's almost like it's a meant to be. You're finding your tribe. They've been spread out, and if you're drawn to do Touch for Health, it'll be for the right reason. It'll be for connecting with the right people. And you'll succeed at Touch for Health. And because of that, your life will work better for you. It will. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that with the Advertising Standards Authority, but I believe it will. I'm allowed to say that now.
Yeah, you, absolutely. And people are very hot on scientific evidence, but anecdotal evidence, to me, is just as, if not more important, because we all know what we can do with statistics, with scientific statistics. We can skew them any way we want.
Yeah.
But anecdotally, you can't get away from somebody feeling rubbish and then, 20 minutes later, after as you go, standing in the kitchen before you go to work, feeling amazing. You can't deny things like that.
No, you can't. And honestly, I was talking to Dominique Monet, who is faculty for Belgium. At the time, Dominique was Dean of the Touch for Health School. And we were talking about evidence and, scientific evidence. And I said, do you know what, Dominique? I said, if somebody showed me a study that proved categorically that Touch for Health didn't work, it wouldn't make any difference to me, because in my heart, it does. I don't know how it does always, but it does. I feel it. I see my clients feel it. I see my family feel it. And I said to her, it wouldn't make any difference to me. Mm-hmm. And she said, I'm the same. Dean of the Touch for Health School. So, it's anecdotal evidence is one thing, but there's something else that happens, Les, inside you when you have a Touch for Health balance. And I say it to the students because sooner or later, everybody gets it. Mm. Some get it straight away like that. Some have 3 or 4 muscles, and others have a couple of sessions, but sooner or later, they feel that difference. They feel, I couldn't do this. And then there's that effortless, I'm doing it and I'm not even doing it kind of thing. You know, that energy is really flowing for me now. And it's that effortless energy that I'm really, you look at it in children, you know, and we lose it. And Touch for Health helps us get it back.
Yeah. They've been touched for health.
Touch for Health. You're all a bit touched.
So if somebody was interested in learning Touch for Health, what did they learn on the course? I mean, for me, I can remember being an animal person, you know, a dog person and horses and stuff. Touch for Health 1 blew me away completely.
Yeah.
Boom. And I spent the whole time thinking how I can, with the benefit of surrogacy, which is my favourite thing, until I get on to the 5 elements, and that's my favourite thing. I mean, I got into something else, that's my favourite thing. Yeah. But when I was doing Touch for Health 1, surrogacy just blew me away, and I was immediately trying to work out how I can put it with animals, and that was the thing that really got me. I'd done all my 3-in-1 training at the time, and so I'd done all my advanced, and then I was going back and doing my Touch for Health, but it just blew everything out of water for me. So what do you learn when you attend a Touch for Health 1 training class? What's the whole thing about it?
I think the most important thing is that you're in a different model from any healthcare model that you've seen before, most probably, because you're in the energetic self-responsibility model. That's the and what that means in terms of a different role for the person you're working with, that it's a different kind of partnership. You learn really interconnectedness. You do. You don't. It's not written on the page, but that's how it works. That's how it works.
And is it very technical? Because I know, you know, we've talked about muscle monitoring and things like that. So,
well, I blooming well hope not, because if it's getting technical, it's not a Touch for Health 1 class. It should be completely simple. And, you know, we have, you remember the muscle name, well, you teach them, but you remember the muscle names from Touch for Health 1. You know, there's a muscle that does that, and we call it, I say stand up. There's a muscle that does that, and we call it fig leaves. And there's a muscle that does this, and we call it chicken wings. And there's a muscle that does this, and we call it swimmers. You know, it's the mass is not in Latin. The idea is that people can follow, and, you know, whether they remember the names or look in the book, that doesn't matter, but they will be empowered to succeed. And at the end of a Touch for Health 1 class, all of those students can go out and do a 14 muscle balance as you go. Now, they don't know at that stage that they're moving meridian energy round. They don't know at that stage that they're actually balancing too much energy and too little energy. They don't know that, you know, they don't need to know that, but they are doing it. And it's very, very simple. And it works.
And it works. So at the end of a Touch for Health 1 class, they can go home and they can look after their partner or the children or themselves, that can go through and do the muscle dance, you know, and help themselves as well, you know, rubbing the different points. And so why should people go on and do Touch for Health 2 then? If they've got this lovely thing where they can help their family, why Touch for Health 2?
I know, it's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. And it's almost like, well, I can count, so why do I want to do my timetables? You know, some people don't need to. Some people will only ever need to count and put things in blocks of 5 or whatever. I don't know. Was that a good metaphor?
Yeah, no, it is. You know, 1 + 1 + 1. Who needs division and
exactly. And do you need your times tables? But it's just such a great synthesis, and it builds and it deepens, and it's fascinating. I mean, you think about it. You've got Touch for Health 1, and the basic premise is that you learn to balance as you go, and you learn an indicator muscle for all the meridians. And I mean, you don't know that that's what's happening, but you do, and you do a beautiful energetic balance. You learn how, emotional stress release in Touch Health 1, you know. I mean, it's a brilliant package. So it's right, people might think, job's a good one, you know, I'm off. But then you look at Touch for Health 2 and you look at the energetic models that, oh look, they happen to be behind me.
They're behind you.
Behind you. And the energetic models, and then you have more understanding and you have more options of balancing, and a little bit more with the emotions, and you know, you learn more about yin and yang, and it really builds the energetic side, I think. And then you think, well, that's it, I've got that. But then when you get to level 3, you've got the body deal, you know. You've got, if I want to walk, this has got to go forward, that's got to go back, that's got to relax, that's good. And you learn how to integrate that, how to balance that, how to, you know, get that body deal honoured by everything, so that you can address restriction in movement. You can, which obviously, I mean, we're making these physical changes because they're the easiest usually for most people to see. But they're not necessarily the biggest or the most important changes we're making. You know, the energetic changes, the emotional changes, the changes in attitude, the changes in self-belief, the changes in the brightness of the candle. They're the most important ones. But the ones that really get people are, I couldn't do that, and now I can, you know. And so, oh yeah, and people get thirsty for it, Les, you know they do. They get hooked. And it is a synthesis, you know. You really think of it as Touch for Health synthesis. And yes, every bit you can use as soon as you have it. But there's a little bit more after that.
And so what about level 4 then? What about Touch for Health 4? So we've done, you know, in Touch for Health 3, we're bringing movement and postural movement.
Yeah.
And so where does Touch for Health 4 take us?
Touch for Health 4 for me is the more emotional. You know, we've got the biggie in that is the posture stress release.
I remember having that, didn't we, on the ITW?
Do you remember that car accident?
Oh, I remember very clearly.
Listen to us 20 years ago, and we can remember a balance.
A balance, yeah.
That's the impact. That's the impact it can have. Hey, yeah, I remember it too.
Yeah, it was a biggie. Amazing. It was amazing.
But that's you know, and then again, I would call it the integration, the interrelation, you know, because the posture stress release, of course, affects the posture, affects the stress, but you know, things change, lives change, attitudes change as a result. It's just such stonking stuff. I could go on.
I know. I've known that. So we've gone through, we've done level 1 to 4. What comes next?
What comes next is the Proficiency Weekend. It's called the Proficiency Weekend. And that's a revision, revise, revisit, make sure that you're happy with everything. Very student-led, 2 days. And you learn a new technique to start really working with clients at that stage, I would say. You know, bringing it together into a nice, neat synthesis, nice, neat protocol that you can go out and start to work with the public after your assessment. Because the next stage after that one is it's a formal assessment. It's great fun, actually. I think assessment is the right word, because it's not an exam. It's an assessment of where the students are, where they, you know, where they're doing really, really well, any areas they need some more support. It's just getting them ready for that final certificate that off you go and work with the public, you know.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's really, I mean, it's amazing. I've seen over the years a lot of therapies pop up where you do 2 days, you get assessed and then you can work with people. Or, you do 2 days and there's very little anatomy and physiology in there. There's very little understanding of how the body works, how the muscles work, looking on the human as a being, a sentient being, rather than just, you know, a couple of bits cobbled together. And I've seen therapies like that, whereas when I look at Touch for Health, it's the whole thing, isn't it? And the
Yeah.
thing that I really love about it, as an instructor, is I can do Touch for Health 1 in Scotland with me. Well, not with me, but you know what I mean, with somebody in Scotland.
Yeah.
And I could do Touch for Health with Sandy Gannon. I could do a Touch for Health with Daft Clark if she was teaching Touch for Health for with Jane Piper. And then I could do my proficiency with somebody else. And we're all taught the same syllabus. The instructor and the teaching mannerisms are different, their personality is different, but you still get the same material. And I think that is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that too. It's genuinely modular.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is, and it gives a lot of flexibility for students, you know.
So
that weekend I can't make that class, never mind, there's one down the road, I'll do that and then come back to my group, or, you know.
So when you've got your assessment and you're working with clients, what's the difference then for you as an instructor to then you've taught the public to become Touch for Health proficient, and then you do the training workshop where you're then training them to train other people?
Yeah.
How is that? Is that really, because I know it's quite mind-blowing teaching people Touch for Health. I mean, it must be just like, whoa, teaching people to then go on and teach it.
The Touch for Health training workshop as it is now has changed a lot, Les. In 20 years it's changed a lot. Of course it still equips you to teach Touch for Health to individuals and groups. It still does that, but the self-development side of it is far more prominent. I've learned a lot, you know. I've learned a lot of how to do it stuff, and the way it's done now in the UK, I can't say, you know, about other countries, but it's really a voyage of self-discovery and a big gift to the individual. Insights about coping behaviours, for example, about what's really important for somebody, about how their gifts, whether they're received or not, are still gifts, and yeah, we still have the gems, we still have the games, we still have the evenings where students are doing their homework with a glass of wine.
Flip charts on the floor.
Yeah, we still have all that. Sitting around in the courtyard way into the night because it's the summertime, and it's still a wonderful wonderful experience. And you know, the links you make there, you keep. Look at us again. It's quite an extraordinary experience. It's really a kind of all the skills that you're teaching somebody, you know, Maslow's how to make sure that people are at ease, how to make sure people don't feel threatened, how to keep noticing where the individuals are and where the group is. And I think the main change is that the students of today's Touch for Health training workshop are learning that the material is important, but the people in front of them are far more important. And they keep centering themselves so that they can support those people in front of them. And the vehicle is the Touch for Health material, but yeah, it's a way different experience. And teaching it, I mean, it's exhausting. But oh my God, it's such a gift. It's such a privilege to to teach that 8-day workshop. And people come in with, I don't know, some preconceived ideas or some expectations, and they always go out floating on a cloud, because it's really like holding a mirror up to them. They walk in and you can see so much potential and so much possibility in them, and they can't always see it when they walk in, but they can when they walk out. And that's just that's the best. That's the best. And you know, I teach a fair few workshops, but that's my favorite. That's my favorite one. It's hard work, and you know, I don't know that it's an old timers game for much longer, but yeah, while I can still do it, of course Helena will be doing it, and Anna Mitchell will be doing it, so it's in really good hands. But it takes a lot, and it gives a lot, you know.
I remember my ITW as it was then, as if it was yesterday. And when I've set my own programs up in different professions, I've always had that in my mind. You know, the amount you learn, you know, how to teach, how to present, but how to actually connect with people was the main thing for me. And empowering others to go off and teach, you know, giving somebody else a gift of teaching is amazing. Because I mean, teaching's the best thing you can do, isn't it? Pass on knowledge and empower the next generation.
People get such a buzz, you know, they do. And in the UK training workshops, a lot of people teach. You know, you could. I mean, when I did my first ITW, as it was when you did yours at 92 or 93 or something like that, I did it because I thought it would make me a better touch for healther, and it did. I had no intention of teaching it, but then when you see how you can enable other people, you get, oh my God. And that first workshop, even though you struggle through and you're not sure and you have to phone a friend, and you know, you get such a buzz and you're on such a high, aren't you, you know, from teaching that first weekend, and it gets better. And that's why I'm still teaching. I'm chasing the high.
It is, because everybody's win when you're teaching is your win.
Yeah.
And you just sit there and you like you watch them all doing the balance, and it's like, oh my God, I'm really proud of them. It's amazing. So I mean, and that's teaching, you know, to Touch for Health is to then teach trainers and watch your trainers go on and teach and run their own classes. And that, Craig, you must just be like, your heart must burst with pride.
I'm just so Helena Arguelles is teaching her training workshop in September. I'm going to pop in and say hello and have a look, but I know how impressed I'm going to be, you know.
Need tissues. You'll need tissues.
Well, yeah. And then we've got Anna Mitchell in the United Arab Emirates, and she'll be organising, she'll be convening a touch health training workshop next year. So it's growing, and you know, it's going the right way.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It is brilliant. It is. I'm almost ready to sun myself on a beach.
Oh well, I'm sure the beach will be honoured with your presence. Yeah, and I mean, as a friend and a colleague, I do want to say, I don't know how many people say it to you, but Sandy, I'm so proud of everything you've achieved. I think you're amazing, and I think you're just this person that people really aspire to. I don't think you realise it, but I think, you know, a lot of people just go, oh my God, Sandy Gannon, she's amazing, what she's done. So, you know, I'm so grateful for you to talk to me today, and we'll get this on the Facebook page, which is hopefully where people will see it, and on YouTube. So yeah, thank you for everything, you know. Thank you for the recording today, and thank you for everything that you've done for Touch for Health, because yeah, you are the embodiment of it for me.
Bless you, Les.
Thank you. So shall we end on that lovely emotional note?
God, what we like, eh? Yeah, we'll leave it there, shall we?
We shall. Thank you, and I'll catch up with you soon.
All right, my love.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Mwah. Take care. Bye bye.